Here we go. Last game of the week. Which of these two teams starts with a win? It's a super important one. But I want to focus on Artemis because we haven't actually talked about his Tristana so far. It's not the mid lane Tristana, which we see much more often. It's the bot lane Tristana. And bot lane Tristana means terror. Means all in. Means we want to punish the Ashe.
Okay. Okay, it was just a little bit angle from Taki. I'm like, there's no ward there. How did he just get that auto? No, it was something else completely. So, oh, slow him down. No ward here. Ah. Okay, they actually get it, and they're gonna get a hook onto Taki. It's just gonna be traded back with Hail of Blades. Ashe. Okay, we're in really weird territory right now. Okay, that's a stun potentially thrown onto auto. They're not gonna grab it because they don't want that auto coming through. Taki just has to flash. I'm lost. I think that was and a flash from Froggy. Guys, what are we doing?
I don't think either of those flashes were necessary, honestly. You still had BeamJ in the back hand there as well, being able to intercept. That was very jumpy from the side of Saigon Buffalo. Just super scared of giving up an early advantage over to Cerberus. But why are you posturing so aggressively then? Very disjointed early game.
It's very greedy from the side of Saigon to want to make that play happen. And if I had to take a wild gamble, it would be you don't want to give massive advantages in the laning phase over to either the bot lane or the mid lane by not flashing. Because again, I don't know that Froggy necessarily was under dire straits of that punch stun, even if it comes through, actually, potentially killing him by any standard. Nobody had really that closing ability yet to be able to make that happen. Taki might have been the same position where it's like, okay, Taki is like, I don't want to cede control of the bottom lane by losing half my health bar, then having to flash. So I'll just flash early. It's like an early respect flash, but it's so much that was unnecessary because they chased the one member of Cerberus, not expecting the reinforcements to be there.
Yeah, now it's so hard to play for Froggy, even harder than before. It's already not a matchup that's super easy before level 6, and now he can't even play up because Drakthar could punish him all the time. So it's on Yado to keep Froggy's HP bar low enough, so Froggy has to respect the gank anytime now, and this could really transition into something like a 30-40 CS deficit if Froggy plays safely enough to not die. If he greeds for CS, you can punish him. Hasmed against Pan, we have seen this matchup before. This time it's Hasmed with the early push, getting the better of Pan on the second try.
Yeah, doing a lot better. Again, the Gnar versus the Jax matchup is a recant of what we saw in the previous game. It wasn't great for Pan. The laning phase didn't feel good. The team fighting definitely was not good. As it seems like Saigon just kind of getting run over a little bit at the beginning of the game. That's expected out of the mid lane position. Although, to be quite honest, Froggy's probably really close to lethal situation. If he gets bone plating back up, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a play here. Ah, nicely timed. Very, very nicely timed coming out from Drakthar. That's going to be first blood over to Pun on the top side. Oh, my apologies. Over to Drakthar on the top side.
Hasmed too greedy. He could have flashed the initial CC and then hopped away to get more space when the Q is not there, because the Arctic Assault, of course, is able to cancel his jump. It can't do anything against his flash, so just the wrong selection of abilities. He still uses his flash, so now he's super vulnerable. We saw the early top dive in the last game from the blue side, so Saigon Buffalo actually making it work. Now Hasmed, no flash. He doesn't TP back to lane. That's very interesting to me. They're holding on to the TP. But yeah, if he flashes here over Drakthar,
that's so good. That was really insane.
Yep.
It was well timed by Drakthar, because again, if he holds the Q for the E, then it's a situation where you know that you've got that coming through. And otherwise, you have to pick a direction to flash in as Hasmed, and then you have to hop and hope that like Drakthar doesn't catch you, which I think was a higher probability chance. But that's speaking in hindsight. If you're Hasmed, you're thinking, okay, can I play mind games and get a hop off before the flash comes through? And it just was not the case that Drakthar was able to read it. And it was it was a surprisingly well read Sejuani, like a decent skill difference Sejuani Q coming in, which isn't a very often thing that we say. Bottom side, Rana P, again, being the melee champion into the Braum, having to deal with a little bit of the stun coming through, but Artemis with solid trade damage back doesn't end up netting that much, as somehow, actually not somehow, an early game advantage for Cerberus already kind of making itself known. So you've got a few hundred gold now, a lot of it in the top side, a lot of it into Drakthar, but still, nonetheless, a big advantage to begin the game.
Look at mid lane, there's a gank happening. The Wukong in the lane, we can't see it, unfortunately. Yado not forced to flash, so everything is alright. BJ just trying to help out Froggy. And Froggy made it to level 6 almost unscathed, so he is down quite a few CS, but that was to be expected. He didn't die with his flash down. Now he's close to 6, and his flash is coming up in a minute, so Froggy good to go for the rest of the laning phase. He would assume still a decent early advantage for Cerberus, who are winning all the lanes and are getting the first dragon as well. So, yeah, Cerberus really looking like the stronger team in the first 5 minutes of the game.
In this one, you do know that you have this late game insurance of the Kassadin, so maybe Saigon doesn't feel as pressed to make things happen. But again, over the course of the series, it feels like that was their MO was to play the opposite strategy. So to see this come out in the third game is a bit surprising from Saigon, because that's going to be Froggy. Perhaps you've caster cursed him, unfortunately, no way, as he does go down to a Ron OP, gank to the mid lane, right before the flash comes up too, literally seconds before his flash comes up. They're able to find a play where it is a kill going over to Ron OP, but an assist going to Yado.
And that's one of those situations. Oh, what? Taki, where are you going? Where are we going?
Exhaust dropped onto Ron OP to make sure that the Nautilus damage is going to be negated a little bit, and I think that's fair, just because you're ensuring that none of that from the front end is going to come down. We had a fight in the top lane. This was Froggy. How respectfully can you play? Like, legitimately, it's just as max range as he can be away from Yado. Yado's still able to get a max range slide, able to push him into the Nautilus. I don't even know that I want to knock Froggy on that one, because he was so far back. It was just his maximum range as he could get for Yado.
Yeah, and if you looked at his timer for flash, it was also like 4 or 5 seconds away. So the most unfortunate death, I thought Froggy had weathered the storm. I thought Froggy was able to survive, but he does get down in the end. He's now 20 CS down. This game is quickly getting out of hand for Buffalo. Sure, they're not out of it yet. They have good scaling. They have good ability to make fights happen, but they need to find a way back here, staunch the bleeding, especially with Yado in the mid lane dominating. Look at Froggy's positioning. He has to sit back so far, and the support called into the mid lane to just give him a little bit more defensive ability. So yeah, Froggy really in a tough spot here. So at the start of the game.
All right. Again, it's a question of whether or not, what am I looking at right now? Hold on a second. Just take a little peep down at Shogun's build to start this
what
game.
Is going on
Why
there?
Why are we building support Ashe at ADC? I am baffled. I know on hits are fun, guys. I know Hydra tier on ARAMs with Imperial Mandate feels really good, okay? But this is not fact. Please, Shogun.
Honestly,
please spare me.
Honestly, if I look at the rest of the composition, I don't hate it too much. Especially if you go something like Black Cleaver, then BJ becomes the main AD damage. BJ and
Hosmed gets threatening.
Yeah, I actually don't hate it too much. It's a weird one. We're gonna see how it works out, but it does give them perma push in bot lane. Makes it really annoying to play against. Will give them a little bit of Dragon Prio as well, and I do feel like he will add quite a bit of utility and damage later on through. Oh, hello. Sailing past.
I am only worried that they've got a Jax and a Sejuani that can get relatively beefy without many ways through. Like, unless Froggy really gets going, they don't have very, very easy ways to kill a lot of the frontliners. So you're going to have to focus one by one. It's going to be a lot harder to try to manage exactly what I think Saigon wants to do. And so without this damage backbone of the marksman, the same way that you would normally have it with like consistent AD damage coming out, again, it's a different build and it does different things. And I agree with you that if it's Black Cleaver, or even if it's like Black Cleaver coming out for BJ or Hosmed shredding armor, and then you get these crazy on-hit effects from Shogun, you can do some damage. But again, it's not the same damage backbone as the Tristana is going to provide, which is why, again, Froggy becomes all the more important to this composition.
Yeah, maybe it's actually one of those situations where it's plan against execution, because if you look at your composition and you think Froggy can really be the main damage dealer, maybe that's the best build possible, but now Froggy's quite far behind, so maybe he should have adapted his build. Instead, he sticks with his initial plan and now sitting on a very awkward item power spike right now. That is Shogun.
Okay. Now, what if it's from
Okay.
here, Kraken, Rage Blade. That's interesting. Okay, thrown back, stunned. BJ still maybe waiting for... Oh, the Ash arrow forces Pun to basically flash in place. Now, Drakthar is going to wrap around on Hosmet. They actually don't expect BJ to be here.
Whoa, Drakthar! No.
He got the flash from Hosmet, so you do get that. And didn't spend his own for that, so there is that to discuss. Although, it is the funniest thing in the world that BJ has been here since minute 1 and did absolutely nothing that entire play. Instead, just kind of sat and watched as an audience for the topside play to develop.
He was spotted quite early on into the play, but he didn't know that, so he just looked for his opportunity.
Yeah.
Hosmet did everything in his power to give him the opportunity, but BJ not able to convert it into a kill. Now, both flashes down for the top laners can make this quite volatile. We haven't really seen that many solo bolo attempts from the top laners here. We're not looking at Enper and Hero. This is Pun and Hosmet. Quite seasoned in this league. They don't really want to make anything too volatile. They know their teams can carry them later, so both of these top laners content to just scale up, farm up in the minion waves, and don't risk it all.
I don't know if you know this, as a quick little kind of tidbit to everybody out there. When it was SNGA, is that the acronym I think they were going to go by when they were being acquired
CNJ,
by CNJ, my apologies. Yeah, when they were CNJ, they actually signed 2 new players that were rookies, one of which was a jungler, one of which was a top laner, and I was really curious how that was going to manage. That's a decent flash coming in and a great CC chain down onto Yado. As that also goes to Froggy. That's a big acquisition. Big. That we love. We love to see that here on the VCS English stream, being able to provide gold to the right player. Now, with Ashe coming back to lane at this moment, maybe they could look at Dragon. I don't think they have enough yet. They burnt a lot right there on the 1 kill. So instead, it might just be a little bit of a dissuade to the side of Cerberus to go for Dragon.
Okay, here we see how it all started. It's such a cool skin too. I love Ashe skins in general. They're one of the best champions in terms of skin design.
Okay.
And Froggy just gets a complete freebie, should propel him closer to his already delayed first item, which of course is important in terms of timing, because Rod of Ages, the earlier you get it, the better. We did see the Kassadin hit level 16 from behind in the first series at around 24-23 minutes. So he should be on pace for that. He doesn't have the rower yet, though, so that's quite late. That's a 13-minute rower. That is not the greatest start for Froggy, but at least a little bit of gold and a little bit of experience into his pockets with that free kill.
All right. Also, I'm not the greatest expert in League of Legends in the entire world, but if you'll allow me just a short tidbit on something that went wrong there. The Ashe arrow came from so far away, that was almost certainly a 3-second stun. You also have Taki there waiting in the wings for another stun for a couple of seconds. I don't think you needed Cyclone. And if BJ holds Cyclone, you can maybe contest Dragon. You can look at least, at minimum, your top laners are not joining that fight. You just got like an advantageous fight with Cyclone on the bottom side of the map. You win that Dragon. Like, you absolutely win that Dragon. So I'm a little peeved that actually ended up getting burnt, because while, yes, Froggy did
again?
No way he gets another one. Okay, Froggy doesn't have the damage, though. He has to wait. Again, it's such a long distance. He has no damage. Feels so bad. He was stunned for 3 seconds, and Froggy did like 200 damage to him.
Yeah, Froggy not level 11 is quite crucial there, because the ability haste or the cooldown of the ultimate from level 10 to level 11 goes down quite significantly. Could have potentially chased down Yada, but yet another really good arrow from Shogun. So we see his main purpose here is to set up Froggy. That's what he's building for. I still am looking at his build and am a bit weirded out here. We have first item Hydra. We've gone back 3 months back to the initial ADC builds in preseason when we saw everyone build this Hydra. So sure, Shogun, show us if it's still good. I haven't seen this particular Ashe build in a while, but to be honest, I haven't actually seen Ashe ADC all that much. Ever since Heimerdinger nerfs, we haven't really seen that much Ashe ADC. She's pretty firmly a support champion now, so let's see. Maybe Shogun knows something I don't.
Yeah. So the craziest thing I've ever seen with this is there was actually, I can't remember exactly what champion they paired with it. Basically, it was Ashe who was farming, but you still built Hydra, Manamune, and you built Imperial Mandate. And the purpose was that if you're playing the secondary role, you can actually blitz gold so much faster to get onto a first item power spike. And Ashe doesn't particularly spike on any of those items. Imperial Mandate's usually pretty good. So the idea is that you like eventually swap who's farming. So it started with Ash farming so that you can get onto your first couple of items pretty decently, and then you end up like giving more gold to the person who's at the support position. Now, in this game, it's a Braum, so it makes no sense. But in that game, I seem to remember being a Caitlyn or something along those lines, where it makes a lot more sense to try to dump early gold into that member and then try to snowball from there, where the Ash has the more consistent build for like the additional supporting than anything else, but the support item was on the other member. So it was a really weird game, and I don't remember. I don't think it made any difference to the outcome of the game. Like, they could have played double marksman bot or double like assassin bot lane and probably still won. But that is the only reference I have to a build like this from an Ashe in the preseason. So.
Okay, we have a little bit of a clash in the top lane. Shouldn't amount to much, I think, because BJ. Oh, he does have the stun on him. Oh, BJ needs to be careful.
Okay, he's going to get double stunned up. Actually, Artemis is able to pick up a very, very large kill. Now, Hosmed is on the ropes. Is going to be able to get away from that W, so that Flay is not going to accomplish all that much. And it's slowly over the last few minutes, out of nowhere, Artemis picked up bot tower. It is probably going to pick up most of the plates, if not all of top tower. I think the plates are gone. My apologies, so I misspoke. But it might pick up top tower as a result as well with the coverage of Sejuani. Oh! Okay, Hosmed. Is he going to be able to do anything? No. Okay, and then Drakthar will just walk him away. Literally, an auto attack's worth of damage might have made the difference between the death of Artemis and not.
Everyone is a bit dizzy here in top lane. What is happening? I have no idea.
Going on right now?
Hosmed is still chasing.
Okay. The last second. Oh, he wanted the hyper proc. He actually almost found Ron P. Hosmed's just like 1v3. Oh, Froggy. Here we go. Can he find something? Drakthar is going to be able to slow him down at least a little bit. Oh, Froggy. Feels like there was an angle there to maybe take. I don't think they had vision on him up until that point, but all right, it's fine. We're okay. It's a 4,000 gold advantage. A lot of it in Artemis over just the last couple of minutes.
And so the coordination is just missing from SGB. So many frantic plays where they see the low HP boss and then just try to make a play out of nowhere. And it's not very well set up on either side. So they do get away here, but they had to invest Froggy's TP just to catch one wave. Not let that pun snowball into oblivion. Saigon Buffalo really looking a little rattled and out of sync in this game. They are quite far behind, but we do know there's Froggy on the level 11, scaling up Kassadin, so it's not all over. Artemis is quite a big boy in this game, though.
Yeah, Artemis is massive in this game, and that is precisely what you want to see if you're Cerberus. Well, yes, eventually will... Oh, actually, finds a really, really nice Q or W to be able to kind of get out of that situation, was able to funnel it properly to ensure that it wasn't going to get stunned up by the Asher or end up falling in any capacity. Well played by Artemis. And now Dragon is a really big tool, and I think that's why Saigon Buffalo is showing up in spades here in the mid lane, because they do not want to give up for a third Dragon. Rift Herald's going to get popped, which might buy a little bit of attention. Now into the rest of them is Pun, trying to find some damage against Bean J. Has to slip back over top of the wall. The Rift Herald gets absolutely nothing. Again, Saigon is just too weak right now, it feels like, to actually leverage this into anything. All they need is one or two auto attacks against the mid tower, and that's going to fall down. A decent amount of damage getting traded back, actually, from Saigon Buffalo onto a couple of members here. And again, the Dragon, to me, is the real objective. Even if you give Dragon, they're going to look for Ron OP. They're going to find a Cyclone. Ron OP has to flash over the wall. Now Shogun getting stacked on. Into the back goes Pun. That's a big Azir ultimate to try to find BJ. They're not going to be able to get anything in the backline. Is Froggy trying to find some assassination. Doesn't actually get it, but it was Ashe that picks it up. And now, the rest of this fight, can Shogun carry the rest of it? I don't know that he's got the damage.
Oh, Artemis is going in.
Artemis is going to jump in. He's going to get blocked by a shield. Well played by Taki, just to make sure the damage is going to come
What is happening?
He's going to be able to throw them back into everybody else, but he just don't have the damage. There's no damage here to kill anybody. Yulway, they're so close. A couple of members down to very low health bars, but now you lose the mid tower. I don't know how Pun dies to that, but ends up dying in the grand scheme. Shogun, can you keep pushing? Can you try to prevent them from dragoning here?
Looked so good at the start. We have 20 seconds to buy for Hosmed's teleport to come in, but I don't think they can do it. Saigon Buffalo, do they try to risk it?
You can't let them sit on this.
Oh, Bean J is actually here. Wait
actually has the angle, has the smite as well. Drakthar, they have to abandon this. Okay, that actually is a win. That's a massive win for Saigon Buffalo.
Oh, Drakthar is still looking for it. He could try to steal it, try to get his soul point. Nope.
Okay. I thought he queued over the wall, and I'm like, you have to be kidding me. Do not do this to me.
I really like the start of the fight. They pick up Ronopy. Ronopy's out of the fight, but then they commit a little too hard. Froggy goes for the kill on Ronopy. I don't think that's necessary. He throws away his life. I think if he tries to disengage and goes towards his team again, they can start anew. And Ronopy, it doesn't really matter if he dies or not, because he's out of the fight anyway. He's blown his load. He can't really do anything anymore, so Froggy a little too horny for the kill, I feel like, and in the end, they just give up one after the other dies. Pun gives a nice little...
Pun die here. Oh, the turret shot! Oh, it hit him? The turret died!
Yeah,
Within
the turret died.
seconds of that shot hitting. Oh my goodness.
A split second too late for the turret shot to disappear, or whatever the interaction is there. Yeah. Oh, another Ash arrow. It's aimed. Ooh, Yado needs to be so careful.
Almost goes down right there. Is not going to fall. Okay, for a second there, Shogun is actually close to the top of the table when it comes to gold on the team. And I will admit, while it isn't the crit build of Ash, it isn't like any sort of on-hit build either that like previously has done damage. Actually, he's throwing some decent damage out. Like the Rabbit, or my apologies, the Ravenous Hydra was doing a decent amount of damage. Again, if you get just a little bit more behind this, it does feel like the volleys and autos are doing sufficient amount for Shogun to maybe carry a bit of this mid game. Taki getting shoved back into everything. They don't even find the kill.
He's alive
coming out here. And now BJ has to kind of get out of dodge. He's the one in quite a bit of dire straits. Froggy getting jumped out by Artemis. Great arrow to get them away. BJ's still under some real pressure, but they're going to be able to kite backwards effectively. So Cerberus shoves Saigon Buffalo out, but they don't actually get any kills. Now the Baron is under legitimate threat from this team.
They're almost forced to start the Baron here, otherwise they would just lose on the other side of the map. Hasmet does have Meganar and TP, but he's on a timer here. His Meganar is timing out. Hasmet might just arrive as mini. Uh-oh.
Okay, big fight potential coming through here. That's going to be Shogun on the bottom side, and that's on the top side. You've got BJ, and you've got Taki trying to stall Pun and try to stall everybody else. 2 members down already in this fight. I don't think you have anything else. Now Artemis is just going to be able to auto down Shogun.
Artemis.
Every effect. I'm lost. They split so heavily right there. They don't have the damage to not single down individual targets. They're going after tanks with multiple members. Feels like a fight scattered to the wind here from Saigon Buffalo.
And over again, we see how hard it is to fight with Kassadin into this team composition. Where can you even go? Every time he tries to look for a flank and tries to go for a different angle, there's so much CC waiting for him. All these bounces. Ronopi, Drachtha, Pun, everyone is ready with the Sun, even the Azir to displace him closer to his team. It's so unbelievably hard for Froggy to play this game, and this might just be the nail in the coffin. Now 8k gold ahead is Cerberus, picking up the first Baron of the game.
It would not be the most ridiculous turnaround in the entire world. Okay, all right. Froggy, you have a teleport ability to go over the wall. Why are you walking past a front? I am so lost as to what that was. Okay, and then Shogun just gets autoed to death by Artemis. Like, there is nothing else to say there. Artemis has the range. Artemis is a beast. He has more than enough gold. Artemis is hard carrying right now. I'm baffled still. This is such a confusing game for me. We're still just waiting for the massive power spike here for Froggy. That is the only thing that we can bank on right now for Saigon Buffalo. Because Cerberus, otherwise, they're running the table everywhere. The Sejuani is huge. There's nobody to kill the Sejuani. Artemis is absolutely massive, is the #1 team fighter here for this team. I do not know how it is that Saigon wins this game. Even if Kassadin gets to the right place, it still feels like Artemis has the damage to potentially bring it back and never get assassinated by Froggy.
Yeah, and if you were here for the huge comeback for Dia1's Kassadin, he had a much easier game to play in the late game, even though they were 14k gold behind. Once the Kassadin got going, he could just run over them and no one could stop him. That is never going to be the case here, but Kassadin has to be so respectful of all the different CCs, so I can't really see it happening, but maybe, just maybe, Saigon Buffalo finds the miracle angle. BJ under a lot of pressure here.
Okay, mid tower falls almost certainly. I wonder if they're able to get inhibitor as well. I wonder if you even want inhibitor, just to make sure that, like, if you have perma pushing, you are just handing minions over to Kassadin, which is not necessarily a good thing. So I actually don't mind the idea of grabbing as many inhibitor towers as possible to make sure that goes. That's a fight going in. BJ finds a decent cyclone. Pun goes down very quickly inside this fight. And on the front line, that's going to be a Gnar brought down immediately, as additional damage coming in on the backside of that fight is not going to be able to find anything close so far, but the minion wave is gone. Now they're protecting their inhibitor. Drakthaur on the front line looking for something. Yado going to throw in soldiers, but again, it's Artemis that's got most of the backbone of the damage. They're just going to give the inhibitor. I think that's a fair trade, because it slows down the pushing a little bit here from the side of Cerberus. They're going to hang around, try to maybe push up this bot side, and that's what you've got. But at least they hold for a second. As Cerberus, they're going to crack bottom inhibitor tower. Never mind.
They still want this tower, and Froggy is not strong enough to really defend anything. You should probably just go back to base, Froggy. You're not helping with 1k gold.
No. Okay.
He is level 15. One more level, and the inhibitor lines are broken, so there's going to be an abundance of minions streaming into the base. So if anything can help them, it's those minions bringing Froggy to level 15, maybe even BJ closer to 16 and so on. Maybe if Cerberus oversteps and gives them 5, 6, maybe 10 minutes time, there's that slight chance of the Kassadin pop-off, but right now it looks very remote, that possibility from ever happening.
The timer has been put on both squads here because, okay, so Kassadin is about to finish Seraphs. You've already got Rod of Ages stacked. If you get Zonias, I think it slows down your build a little bit for Froggy, so you got the stopwatch, but you do have to play a little respectfully. Shogun is about to be done with Monomune and has Imperial Mandate, so there's a bit of damage that's going to be there. BJ is probably going to have Black Cleaver done in the next couple of minutes. There are some decent, really legitimate spikes coming in from the side of Saigon Buffalo. But again, your main problem is you're down so much gold, and now you're put on a timer. 5 minutes until Dragon Soul. You got 2 minutes until Baron buff. You've all of this additional kind of pressure that's mounting on you to scale much faster than you are right now, and you have no time to do it. Can they, Yoi? Can they do it?
I don't believe it, because take a look at the other side of the item bar, because there's an Artemis.
Don't even look at Artemis. I don't want to see Artemis' items.
If you're Saigon Buffalo, you do not want to press that tab button, because he already killed Shogun in 5 or 6 auto attacks last fight, and those came out quickly. Now he has an IE to back it up, so Artemis is the big carry, and it's so refreshing to see him back in the position to carry this team.
Oh, yeah.
2 big frontliners for him, maybe even 3, and he is the main carry. He's the best ADC of the league, and they are pushing forward.
All right, there we go. Engagement. Round of P finds a pull on a BJ, which doesn't get too much. That's a W. Now into the rest of everybody. Artemis is able to snag 1 immediately in this. Hosmed on the front line actually falls out of Megadar and is able to do anything else on the backside. As Artemis gets the second one. And now, can you just keep autoing? Can you keep doing things? Froggy goes into Zonias, but it's just not going to matter. Can Artemis keep going? That's a triple kill. Break the inhibitor. No. Screw the inhibitor. Go off to the Penta. Come on, Artemis. No. We're going to lose the 10-second timer. Dang it. Okay. Well, that's the end of the game. So, does not matter. All right.
The team fight just so well played from Cerberus once again, just establishing the better lines. No way for Froggy to penetrate into the back line whatsoever. Just front to back. This is textbook style. Almost enough to kill Shogun as well. But that's a 27-minute stomp coming out from Cerberus.
There are a number of things that went wrong for Saigon, but I don't even want to talk about that because